Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Marcus here. Please forgive me. I only have my hands to hold this phone, so it's going to be going kind of crazy. I want to tell you this morning that you've heard the expression, the poor you always have with you. And that is true. But what that actually signifies is that this is a sign that all of the people, all of the holy people, all of the sanctified people who swears that they love God is just lying. Because if you were telling the truth, you wouldn't have poor living wherever you're living at. That would be gone because you wouldn't stand for it. Why? Because you represent God if you know God. And otherwise, if you don't know God, you're going to always have those poor guys with you. You see, it's like the whole world and all of its population, they conspired. You got certain ones who wanted to be super. They wanted to have it all. They wanted to be kings and queens and princes and pharaohs and so on and so forth. And then you had those who would allow you to have that position if you gave them some position. So then you made them lieutenants and whatever you needed them for, and you paid them well. And then they needed some support. And so you set it up so the ones that they needed to help get them through, they got a certain portion of what was being taken from the nation. And then so all the way down the line, everybody got a little bit. Then you got to say, oh, well, that's song we don't need them. They're the poor. They don't matter. And everybody else say, well, we got us a job. We got a piece of the pie. So we're satisfied. And the poor sitting out on the streets with a sign, sleeping in tents in the snow. I mean, they're going through all kind of changes. But everybody's satisfied. The economy is good. And when the economy got really bad, and the virus came through and made people sick, then you got a new president. He started talking about doing so much stuff that need to be done, infrastructure, schools. I mean, everything needs to be touched up, a facelift, you know. And so that sounded so good to the Democrats, and it sounded so good to other people who wasn't money hungry, like you know who they are. And so they started saying, well, this looks good. But see, the problem with that, ladies and gentlemen, even if it's able to get through, first of all, you got all kinds of people saying it's not going to happen. It costs too much. You got an argument. You got a fight going on. And even if it does get through, when at the end of the day, you're going to still have the poor. They're going to be right there. And everybody's going to be applauding themselves. They might try to get a poor little handout, but see, God didn't make it for them to have a handout. He made it for everybody to have what they need, want, or desire. And until you can do that, you got a job that's incomplete. And so I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, I might stand up for all of the people. But right now I'm standing up for the poor people. The poor people who die and can't afford to be buried, they are now being burned up. I'm talking about poor people who are dying on the street. Poor people who are afraid to steal because they don't want to go to jail. They just hanging out and, oh my God. Poor people. That's our curse. That's the human curse. Poor people.